Hello. All right, so ongoing practice journals. Hi, my name is Max. I am doing a Jason Becker instructional video. Looks like production has gotten pushed back from April to sometime in the future. Hey, I might as well just continue making videos for you guys to check out. I've known Jason for about a decade. I've known Mike Varney for about a decade, and the reason why I mention Mike Varney is he happens to be involved with Jason Becker at one point in Jason's life, if not still currently. But anyways, so Jason was on Shrapnel Records, as many of you know. That's Mike Varney's record label. And so I've gotten a chance to go to Prairie Sun, and with due to the graces that be, I ended up having a copy of Perpetual Burn, which was bounced down from the actual masters, the reel-to-reels, the 24-track. So, and I got to transcribe the album, and it's pretty cool. It's a lot of material, and then I get to shuffle around fingerings just because I hear the notes and think it's one fingering doesn't necessarily mean that it's close. My fingerings are close, but the more that of doing that I would progressively learn Jason's style, and then since I know Jason, I can say, "Hey Jason, hey, what's up with this? How do you play this?" And he actually said, "Hey, you're close. You're right on. Okay, now we're close." But in terms of the actual guitar playing stuff, it's pretty cool because I get a chance to hear everything that's on the record, and some of the stuff just simply wasn't mixed in. There are some tracks that Jason recorded that simply were not mixed in. Jason had an idea, and then he went into the studio and did it, and for whatever reasons that happened to be beyond my knowledge, some things just simply got omitted. If you want to hear pretty much the way that they were composed originally, go listen to the Raspberry Jams. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today, just because it's outside of the realm of what Jason played, but it is out there on Perpetual Burn, and on the album Perpetual Burn, in specific, the song Perpetual Burn. There's a little part in there where it's kind of funny, and the rhythm gets weird, and I was transcribing this, and I'm like, what the hell is going on with this? And so I sent I asked my buddy, I didn't send it to him, but I said, hey, check out this part in the song where the time goes by and it's between these points. What is this? What's going on? I want you to transcribe it. Maybe I'm just too tired to transcribe it or something. So my buddy comes back and he transcribes it, and I take a look at it, and I'm like, dude, you're good, but you're wrong. And so I was like, all right, fine. And then later on, when I actually got the actual masters from Prairie Sun, I got a chance to take a look at it. I was like, dude, what the hell's going on? I transcribed it, and the bass part is not right, and the rhythm guitar on top of it is just still doing, like, I don't know what chord it's playing. I think it's like something like that. And and then but the bass line and the bass drum are like doing something weird. So anyways, what I did is I got a chance to actually work with Atma Anur, who happens to play drums on the album. So I've transcribed a bunch of his parts and gotten a chance to get some feedback from him in terms of his style and what he does and how he specifically plays and all this type of stuff, his layout of his drums and all this good stuff. So one of these things that just happens to not be in the style of Jason Becker, but Jason still did this regardless. And Jason learned a lot from Atma as well as Marty, and in terms of playing and time and all this type of stuff. But one of the cool things, and I'll explain it, which I'm kind of excited about this here. So one of Atma's big things is rate. Like it's just a rate, And so like eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and dot 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 dot. That's just a rate. We choose to give it the values dot 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 dot. So it could be 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so eighth notes are simply a rate against something, right? Some kind of underlying rate. So in the song, he's actually just jamming along. Actually, I couldn't tell you the measure number. I want to say it's 96 if those of you who happen to be counting measures. It's interesting because he ends up playing, they're just jamming along, dan, digga, dan, digga, dan, digga, dan, and Atma does this little drum fill right before the solo. And what it does is, it sounds like bowling balls and pots and pans falling down a stairs. And I couldn't figure out what it was. And so, so I asked, well, I didn't ask him, but I went back through and in my experience playing with him in a group for a little while, I got a chance to see him play, so I got an idea of what his fills were. So what he actually does is he alternates. This is a pretty common thing with a lot of drummers, rather than like running between all the toms and doing the feet with the quads and that Portnoy kind of thing, that Neil Peart sort of thing. What he does is, a lot of drummers do this. What they'll do is they'll still play things, but what they'll do is they'll accent like crashes off of the snare, and the bass drum usually goes with the cymbal, which is usually played by the right hand, and the snare, which is kind of ghosted, sort of, with the right hand. So you'll actually hear an accent like 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and it gets interesting because Jason actually doubles this. So this is actually an arranging technique that Jason used. I'm sure I was like, let's do this, and Jason's like, okay, we'll do this, and then they tried doing it with rhythm guitar parts, and they're like, it sounds really sloppy. Let's just stick with the normal rhythm. I don't know. I'm just speculating at this point. But this is kind of cool, and because I know a lot of you guys are out there writing stuff with your own drum machine and this type of stuff. And so you can do this as a drum fill rather than like running through the toms. So what he does is does 16-note triplets, and I'm not going to explain exactly what he does there. I'll give you an example of the type of thing that he would do. So he's just playing normal, like dan ticka dan ticka dan ticka dan ticka dan, and so what happened is the fill is 16-note triplets, and what he does is he so there's 24 16-note triplets, if that makes sense, within a measure. So you have 1 2 3 1 2 3 and 1 2 3. That equals one beat. So we have 4 of those. So all of a sudden, 6 times 4 is 24. So we have 24 notes, all right? And we can divide that in a couple different ways. So let's actually just divide it in half. So we have a measure of 2 4, and we'll just repeat the drum fill. In the case which was actually on the record, I believe Atma plays it on the ride cymbal, and then he goes with the crash cymbal, or some kind of crash cymbal like that. So what he does is he accents 12. How do you divide 12? Rather than doing it 6 and 6 or 4 4 4, what he does is he goes kind of like, it's a type of like 5/16 and then 7/16. So but they're 16-note triplets. It's not 16 notes, it's 16-note triplets. So what he'll do is he'll go 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Right? So we can actually move that to the crash cymbal, 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2, something like that. So yeah, we can do the 5/8, 1 2 1 2 3, and then he does the 7 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. So dan digga dan digga dan digga dan digga 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3, back to the straight. So I hope that's clear. And what Jason does is he plays the bass line only on those accents. So it's 1 2 3 4 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3. Okay, and then he goes back into the solo, whatever, after the. And so that's actually the guitar fill, which goes on top of that drum fill, which does that fancy bass line, which I forget what the guitar part is doing. But anyways, I hope that you guys learned something from that, and not much guitar playing in this, but leave your comments, questions, feel free to like it, dislike it, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff. Take care. Bye-bye.